Hello, podcast people. Good afternoon. I hope you're having an amazing Friday. And I am so lazy. I feel bad because I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot I need a new episode for my podcast. And I was sitting here and I was like, I was gonna post, a poll in a story and be like, you guys ask questions and I answer, but I totally forgot about that. But then I was like, wait, are you serious, Alicia? Like, there are so many things going on in this world at the moment, and yes, I feel like we all know what I am about to say. George Floyd, and if you do not know who George Floyd was, it's just a normal man a normal black man, let me say that, who was murdered by the police. And yes, I say murdered because it wasn't an accident, and they purposely did that. Like, I sat there and watched the video where the poor man was, crying out, and I think we all did, right? Where he was crying out like he couldn't breathe, he needed water, get off his neck. And I was just like, bro. And then the officers were just being total jerks. Like, he was like, oh, just stand back. He was just sitting there on his neck, and he was crying out for his mother. And that just hurt my heart. Because if you guys didn't know, there's a show called Orange is the New Black. It's on Netflix, and it's an amazing 7-season show. And I'm telling you, if you did not watch it and you're looking for something to binge, please binge this show. Like, I am telling you, it is one of the most amazing shows on there. It's about a woman's prison. And honestly, I didn't even know those things went down and they're like that. Like, you need to watch it. And if you did watch it, then you know what I'm talking about. Where one of the characters, I believe it was season 4, leading on to season 5. Season 5 was the prison riot. Because an officer, which was a white officer, went to, a woman, because everybody was getting, rowdy. And he had his knee on her, on her back. And her name is Pusey Washington, and she was laying down and she was saying, I can't breathe. And she died because she couldn't breathe. And it was so sad because, she was, even though it's a show and there's actors, she's really alive. I just never expected to see that in real life. I genuinely did not. I know there's, killings of brown people from police, but, I just never expected to see that. And this poor man, and what's going down in Minneapolis is just the beginning. I hope people know that, right? This country is, all great countries collapse, and I'm so scared to say, but maybe not scared, maybe worried, yes, but not scared, because I don't want to live in a country where everything is just, I don't want to say planned out for us, but they want us on these chains. Capitalism is a cage for all brown people. Sorry about the background. I don't care if you are Mexican and you're and I've been seeing all these comments, oh, this is not our fight, this is their fight. What is wrong with you guys? This is every brown minority in this country, and if you are Asian and you're lighter, listen, baby, you are still part of the minority. Don't try to go against others. When the revolution was coming, and that whole snake thingy, it was, you have to join or die, because if you do not join, then they're gonna win. This is all of our fights. This is for every single brown person. We need to fight the men and women in white suits, the white women and men, because they're gonna do exactly what this country was built on, and that's slavery. They're gonna try to put us in extreme poverty. We're already there. The prison system is already slavery for us. They're doing this for a reason. They're giving more money. Donald Trump is giving more money to welfare, I believe, or food stamps or something. so that we can just live off of the government and then because if you try to go against them, you're gonna be like, how are we gonna live? You need the government, and we don't need them. They need us. The working class. Who is the working class? Us. So I'm just like, this police brutality. Honestly, this has been here for what, years and years and years. I've seen it ever since I was, we've all seen it since we were children on the TV. But I just never expected to see it on the news today, like in this day. But I have good news. The Minneapolis, he's currently an ex-officer because he is now charged with murder. He's in custody. You know what? But that's supposedly is what they said. So, I'm hoping they're telling the truth. But in my, let me see. I'm on CNN. So this is from CNN. They said the five Minneapolis police officer seen in the video has been arrested and charged with third-degree murder and manslaughter. And the investigation is ongoing, which is dumb because, we've seen it. We've seen the murder. It's pretty obvious, and I think that everyone there that, not the people who were recording, also people are like, oh, but they were recording, they could have helped. Listen, it's you versus a police officer. This police officer is already threatened by, I'm guessing, a black man who was doing nothing. Well, maybe he did something, but not like, anything that's gonna put you in danger of your life. So like, don't really come for those people, because it's hard and it's scary in situations like that. So like in general, we just truly need to band together, all races. It doesn't matter if you're Muslim, it doesn't matter if you're Indian, no. It doesn't matter if you're any form of Hispanic, any form of black. We all need to form together. And I don't say this to, be against just everybody. We just sorry if it's sounding a little weird today, but we just all need to band together. And like I was trying to say before, I got a little sidetracked. I'm not saying that the white people are the enemy, like every single white person, but the people in the government, like I'm not saying every single person is bad, and like I'm saying not all cops are bad, but I'm sorry, I'm not gonna sit here and try to figure out who's good and what, like when I'm in the car, like, oh my god, this is a good cop or a bad cop, and I find out when I'm dead. Like, no, like I'm sorry, but that's just not me no more. Like, you're gonna go around in the world and you're gonna tell people all cops are bad, the whole government is bad, and ignore if they're like, oh well, some are good, some, like, no, it's all or none. That's it. That's just it. Like, we shouldn't have to roll over for nobody. And this poor man, like, bless his soul, rest in peace to all the black people that have been murdered since time began, since lynching was a thing, since forever, for all the false accusations. Like, how much longer are we gonna take this? And you know what? Donald Trump, and I saw this, and it is real, because he tweeted it, because that's what he's good at. Excuse me. Donald Trump, he tweeted this, like, I'm not gonna read all of it, because it's a little confusing, but basically he's saying mailboxes will be robbed, ballots will be forged, illegally printed out, etc., etc. There is no way that the mail-in ballots will be anything less than subsequently fraudulent. So all this was because he believes that, I believe it was Democrats, supposedly, he thinks that the Democrats or somebody is going, Twitter, he believed that Twitter was going to mess with the votes because of things that were tweeted, and that now he's going to try to pass a law that for all social media is going to be, like, monitored in a way, like, he's going to put restrictions on it. And because I saw this on a TikTok and I was like, okay, that's not legal, and it's not, because, and people don't worry, nobody, I don't want anyone to worry about this, hopefully. I don't even know anymore, but, in the amendments, in the Constitution, we have the freedom of speech, which is in the First Amendment, along with freedom of religion, freedom of petition, stuff like that. So this is basically him messing with freedom of speech. And if you guys do not know how laws are made, basically when it gets to the president, the president either vetoes it or he passes the law, or passes it. And if it's not, but the Congress, it's either Congress, it's somebody, I think it's the judges, like the Supreme Court judge or something like that, I don't know, somebody. But they check if it's part of the Constitution. So if they basically see this and they're like, this is messing with freedom of speech, you cannot pass this law. Boom, and he cannot pass a law because there's the Constitution. So I don't want to be really worried about that. But for him to even believe that he could express this or pass this law is beyond me. So this country, and I'm saying this because Donald Trump, ever since he stepped in power, it's been burning down. But this has been building on for years and years and decades. How can we all believe that a country built on our backs like this, all of us, how are we going to believe that one day we're going to see freedom and change? And yes, I'm going to keep fighting, and yes, we should all keep fighting, but so just, I don't even know what to say anymore. But one thing is for sure, none of us will stop fighting, ever. None of us will stop saying these people's names, because there's more to come, whether we like it or not. Do not trust the police. And I'm not saying, don't be, I don't even know what to say anymore. I want to say don't be scared of them, but do you really? Because one man, remember the one in, I believe it was in Houston or something, it was somewhere in Texas, happened a few months ago, where he called because something, he wanted help, to check on his neighbor. They came and they killed that poor woman, black woman. So I don't even know what to say anymore. But we just need to look at this in a very, 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 very new perspective. This is not something where we can just run in the streets and scream. We need to do this in a very different way. And we need to be ready for whatever the government has for us. We need to be ready to just fight at the end of the day. Because this country may not be the same in the next 15 years. And when I say that, I mean very, very different. Not restrictions on so-and-so. No. Who even knows if this country would be this country? Who even knows if it's going to still be called the United States of America? I generally do not know, and you guys shouldn't either. You guys should be very afraid, very, very afraid. But I don't know. I don't want you guys to be afraid. I just want everyone to just be ready and prepared and be open-minded that things can change drastically, especially if that Donald Trump is reelected. Because if he's reelected, then I don't even know what to say anymore. But let's hope it's Joe Biden, and let's hope that our Democrat Party wins, and let's hope all of this won't disappear, sadly, but it would be monitored more, and maybe we'll see less of our people getting murdered and beaten and sent back to their countries because they're savages or whatever. Sorry if this was a very heavy podcast today, but that's just how the world is, and it's so sad. But we can change it, though. We can work on it. So I'm very grateful, though, that I got to speak to you guys about this. Sorry if it was a little choppy. I was a little busy today, but I'm Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, so always tune in, and I hope you all have an amazing Friday. School's basically over, officially. Have an amazing summer, and we'll all see each other back in school. But don't cough on me, because I will punch you in your face. Follow me, Alicia_the Great. Love y'all.